Greetings and welcome to another episode of The Common Passenger, where we talk all things international. I'm your host Tono. Betka is making sure I don't mess this one up because oh my, there's no room for error. The reason is simple, we have a very special guest today. Not only is she special to the entirety of IAESTE Slovakia, her name also brings up great memories and tens, surely even hundreds of people all around the globe. Ladies and gents, allow me to introduce to you Lubica Komarova, the National Secretary of IAESTE Slovakia and a free-time kitchen wizard. Before all this glory, she was a trainee in the USA in year 2018. Ahoj, Lubica.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me.
First of all, let me thank you for coming. I know that your time is quite precious, thus I shall not waste it anymore. So you spent a year in the USA. Why and when did you decide to try out the famous American dream?
I mean, me and New York go a long way together. I remember being a kid and wanted to go. Like, I always had a dream to spend 1 year in New York City, no matter the circumstances. And it got true in 2018, as you mentioned, thanks to IAESTE as well. So I think I always wanted to go and I just had the opportunity, so I took it.
I think that most of the people, me included, only know New York from the films. Famous Hollywood films like Home Alone and King Kong, maybe. Would you say that films inspire you to go to New York?
When you say it like this, I don't remember the movies or films. I remember the series, like for example, How I Met Your Mother or Friends. And I remember growing up on Friends and always wanted to know whether, New York is as they say. But there is, I am a fan of Broadway in particular, which roots in New York, and that's how I got interested in New York in the first place, thanks to the theater and musicals and plays. And when you ask whether it's the same or even similar, I would say it is. If you ever seen scene where somebody is just sitting in a park and another person approaches them and asks them about their favorite book or whatever they are reading, it happens every day in New York, and that's also a part of its magical charm as well. So I would say it's comparable, but it's always better in person as the things used to be and are.
Oh, for some reason I cannot imagine New York being colorful. I can only imagine it in black and white. Nonetheless, I know that New York is a huge city and there are lots of people. Can you tell us more about the people that surrounded you, maybe at your work or elsewhere?
I got sponsored by an amazing company called Cultural Vistas, and they provide internships in IAESTE as well, as they are their mother company. And their focus is on international education, so the mix of people was very colorful, and they always made sure we really feel the American experience. So, for example, they were organizing for us potlucks, where everyone brought their favorite food or food from their home, and we just shared it. We had a big kitchen table, and we shared everything. And many great memories are food related to me. I had a great group of people surrounding me, and they were from all over. I had one good friend. Actually two from Bolivia, and there was Ellen from Sweden and guys from Philippines and South Korea, and also Tunisia and one local New Yorker. So it was just great. Everybody had their own perspective, and we also we were not fighting, we were just like finding out about our culture. And I think every day was a conversation about some cultural differences, which was always inspiring because we had the different perspectives and point and angles of view. So I was very fortunate to have such a great friends in New York because we were in the same situation together. So we were all interns for the same company. So we had, similar maybe expectations or, free time. So it was very nice to have somebody to spend the time with, and such an amazing people for that. Yeah.
What about native New Yorkers? Do you keep in contact with some from there?
I do. I keep a contact with my former co-workers. Usually, you know how it goes. We all we mostly reply to our Instagram stories about I don't know, usually pets as it goes, and baking, for example. So we exchange ideas as well. And some of them are still active in IAESTE, so I collaborate with them on, you know, at least once a year. And they all became also my friends. So with some of them I speak on very frequent basis, and we call each other also like once in 2 weeks or in a month. So yeah, we kept in touch, and I think that's also a great part of IAESTE, that we could stay in contact afterwards as well, and we built this strong connection.
Amazing. And what about other places in America that you visited? Because even though New York is huge, it's not everything.
Yeah, we traveled for weekends together sometimes, or if we had like a longer weekend, we planned something. My friends from Poland came to visit, so we went all together to Washington for a prolonged weekend, and we also went up New York, upstate New York, where we went to the forest and just like relaxed from all the, you know, noise from the city and everything. And also I had a chance to visit California, where my brother is living currently. And additionally, I went to Cyprus, but that's also thanks to IAESTE and annual conference. So none of the weekends were boring, and we always had somewhere to go or something to do. So it was also very, very nice.
Do you remember any fun moments there? Maybe something you don't really talk about when you just meet new people?
So I'm gonna share it here on the podcast with strangers.
Yeah. You know, something you wouldn't tell your parents necessarily, but it was nice nonetheless.
You know, I remember one evening when we immediately after work we went to the side of the Hudson River, to the and we started like just drinking wine all together. So like not everyone. And remember, we were very culturally different. So the, you know, going out, drinking, and having fun meant something different in each language. But fast forward maybe 4 hours, we were having you know, amazing exchanges on the Times Square, where you know, when you live in New York you never go because it's the tourist place. But we went and we enjoyed like just talking to people about why they visited New York, and everyone was so surprised when we told them we are actually living in New York, and they were just like, "Why are you guys here?" And it's like always, you know, every conversation you begin in New York may end up in some bar, and it can be a legendary story. So there are many of them, and it's hard to choose from. But this one was one of my favorites. Just, I don't know, just exploring the city, being a bit tipsy. It was very fun.
Oh, yes, I can imagine it was. Now on a bit of a more serious note, what was your job there?
I was working as a software developer there because at the time I studied computer science. And I had my own project as I was developing Moodle and customizing it for Cultural Vistas need. And then we all, as an interns, worked together on new guidelines that needed to be implemented into source code. So that was our like common project. And then I was also dealing with some internal, you know, requirements from the. I was also dealing with internal requirements from employees to enhance the software they were using in order to exchange students. So that was my main job.
Oh, you really do help people go abroad, as I can see. You know, they call America the home of the brave. And you surely are a brave person. Have you ever considered or thought about staying there, moving to America and just living your life there?
I consider it since the first time I landed. It was because it was, a dream come true, and everything is super and nice, and everything is new, so everything is perfect. And then there are opportunities to stay if you really pursue this dream. But I think also an important part of IAESTE internship is actually coming back home and bringing all the knowledge and all the different perspectives you acquire during your stay. So I consider staying, but I'm glad I didn't, and everything worked out fine. So yeah, I actually came back to to fulfill my another promise I made to IAESTE, that I will help to organize annual conference. So I'm very glad I came back.
And when you came back, do you think you came back as a different person? How did your view on America change?
My view on America changed quite a bit. I also got to really appreciate what does it mean to grow up in Slovakia or in European Union for that matter. And I think what you said about Americans being brave, I think it's very very strong quality of theirs, because nothing is guaranteed in the country and you have to work for everything. So it's quite hard, and we are very privileged to live in our society and in Slovakia and European Union. So definitely that changed a bit, and I appreciate it more. I definitely didn't come back as the same person, because I felt like during my internship I felt so much freedom that I was able to express myself freely, and I stayed with that feeling till now. So I definitely changed.
And if you could bring one thing from the USA to European Union, I don't mean a physical thing, but something spiritual, some idea maybe, what would you want it to be?
I think definitely the diversity and like positive thinking, because it's completely different experience to ride the subway in New York and ride the subway in, for example, Vienna or Paris or something like that. Because like people are frowning here. I'm not sure if we realize that, but we tend to frown, and people in US tend to smile. So I would definitely bring the positiveness and the diversity for sure. I think especially in Slovakia and similar countries, people are afraid of being different, and also if somebody is different. And I think we should work on more inclusive society and environment for people to maybe grow up with and grow up in.
Oh, riding a metro in Slovakia is a completely different story, let me tell you. And in return, what would you want America to take maybe from European Union? What do you think America lacks?
Attention to their citizens, maybe. Like I know like legislators care on both grounds and in both unions, if I may say it like this. But in European Union, if I don't think about something physical, we are way more protected digitally as well. So I would wish upon Americans to have such security in a digital world and online world as we have here.
Oh yes, that is very important. Now let's get back to you and IAESTE. You told us quite a lot, and I would like to know more about how you began your way in IAESTE. Did you become a member before you came to the US, or how was that?
I am member since 2005, so I've been in IAESTE for 3 years since I went on internship, and I think I would consider it it's not a mistake, it's been organic this way, but everyone who joins should go immediately or as soon as they get a chance. It is also important for our work in an organization, to experience these melting pots. And I think my journey is IAESTE it's been quite organic. I always wanted to travel, so I was applying for conferences and I got chosen for one, in particular JUMP, I remember, and I met amazing people there, which I have this strong connection with IAESTE thanks to them as well. And I met people there that have been in IAESTE maybe for a week by then, and they were so inspired and about the mission, and everything was so great. So I got super inspired to work in the international community, and then I joined Central European region, and then I was, I don't think, titles are important, but I always been in international relations when it comes to IAESTE, first in Central European region, and then I continue my work on ASBL level as international representative for Slovakia, and then, now as a national secretary. That has been my journey so far.
What motivated you to become a national secretary?
This is quite a difficult question. I wanted us to talk more about exchange in Slovakia, and I wanted especially members of our organization to go and experience what IAESTE really can be, and that's and you can do it if you hold if you are the decision making body, so you can inspire them and tell them this is what we've done, and I think this should be great for you. And what really motivated me was also I wanted to not only get to know people better here, because I've been away for a year before I stepped into this position, but I wanted them to reach their full potentials. And I wanted to maybe help them guide themselves within the organization as well. So that has been my motivation, maybe just people here.
And can you explain to me and others what are responsibilities of a national secretary?
Well, national secretary is a legal representative in the country. So I'm basically responsible for all of your lives. If you if you do something, it's on the butter is on my head. And then, I don't do anything alone, because in national committee we divide work quite equally, I would say. And my lovely ladies are helping me with everything, so I'm very, very thankful. But you need to be, maybe I would also say, like, good example, as like when you meet with somebody from the university, you need to give it a good impression, so they see we have capable members and motivated students. And that goes both ways. When you exchange on annual conference, you need to know what you're doing, and that you can find a student for the offer as well. And also we need to be very diplomatic, because on annual conference we are always changing bylaws, or we are coming up with new solutions which are worldwide for the entire organization, and you need to find your voice and really represent you need to find your voice and really represent your members as an IAESTE Slovakia, and also in a global poll. So I would say this is also a big part of my job, to make sure that everything that it's approved on global level has positive impact on Slovakia, and that we can also contribute to a bigger vision that IAESTE has.
What would you consider to be your greatest achievement as a national secretary?
Well, this is a scary question, and I've been thinking about this one a lot. And I only been a national secretary for 1 year, and fortunately we also got a pandemic on our hands, so it's been very hard to navigate, honestly. And I was asking my closest collaborators what do they think about it, and I would say my personality is very much my strength, and people, and maybe my achievement would be creating an environment where people feel free to explore their ideas, and also maybe help them find their voice, and also to create something together that makes also some contribution to society. So I would say that my achievement would be to create an environment for people to feel safe and creative. if that gives you an answer.
Well, in my personal opinion, I think that so far the greatest thing you achieved is that you helped organize an annual conference in year 2020 that happened in Slovakia. Can you tell us a bit more about how you came to that and how did it go?
Yeah, that's also right. I didn't think of that. Thank you. Okay, so that was actually not my idea, but my predecessor, Peter, suggested this idea. And we were just like at the national conference, I remember in Zvolen. It might have been 2016 or 2017. I do not remember correctly. It was 2016. And they were just like, okay, so what are we... Or maybe 17. So what are we going to do about AC 2020? Are we going to do it? And I was just like, okay, let's do it. I had no idea what it entails and so forth and so forth. But I'm very glad that we decided to do it, and also that the whole organization and IAESTE Slovakia helped so much with the support of support team and board as well. And that was the journey. So we just kind of decided, and then we applied. And we got it, and then it was just like a huge roller coaster. It was just like planning a wedding for 300 people, which are not your family, so you don't know what's their favorite food, what do they like. But a very important part of annual conference for us was presenting our culture, and I think we managed that quite well, because that was because we have artists representing different regions in Slovakia, and we also got to show our beautiful nature, because we were doing the conference in High Tatras, so that was also very extraordinary, if I may call it like that, because usually it's way easier for delegations to get to annual conference, and they do not have closest airport an hour away from the venue. So.
And what are your plans for the future? I mean, there's really nothing. You cannot go any higher than a national secretary, can you?
In terms of IAESTE Slovakia, I don't think you can. But it's never about, going up. It's about where you can contribute the most. And what are my plans to the future? Well, we kind of agreed that we lost a year, and we kind of want to, reimburse people for that year. So maybe we will continue as a national committee going forward. It's still an open discussion, but I had one goal I would like to achieve in IAESTE, and I don't know how further it is, but it's in discussion now, so hopefully in the next couple of years. I have one goal that I set a couple of years back, and I would like to bring IAESTE to the part of Slovakia where it's not possible now. So we are active at 4 universities. And I think we should pay more attention to the students, and also I think we should provide opportunities to those not that fortunate, like maybe to the students who cannot afford to buy a ticket to go to Croatia, for example. And maybe we should focus on these students as well, but it needs to be also legally properly dealt with and so forth. And also we need to also set some requirements for those applicants, but I would like to maybe send some people away. On an internship that really deserve it but don't have the means to go. So that has been on my mind, and if I achieve this, I can leave.
Oh, these are great goals, and I'm sure you can manage that. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you so much.
Are you also working as you are a national secretary?
No, I currently don't have a job because I decided to focus on my studies.
And how do you manage your time?
Well, now with COVID, it's quite... I am working on my discipline, because I'm always trying to be here for the people, whenever they have time. So I'm trying to schedule my week accordingly. But honestly, it's a lot of IAESTE work, but it's a happy to do workload, so it's okay.
Oh, when I introduced you, I called you a free-time kitchen wizard, and you also mentioned bacon a few times. I just would like to tell our viewers that you also have a hobby of baking at home. Can you tell us a bit more about how you started and where is it going?
Yeah, so I started about a year ago because I finally got my hands on the oven because I used to live, at the dormitories and stuff and so forth. So I never got the oven, but now I'm capable of baking, and I enjoy doing yeasty stuff and bread. That's my favorite thing to do, and it's my it's just the most relaxing thing to do for me. So I enjoy it a lot, and then people are happy too because they can eat. So it goes both ways.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm sure that you tried a lot of food in the USA. What would you tell about the American cuisine? How would you describe it?
It's crazy. You can find everything and anything, and everything is delicious from, very cheap stands, which you also know from movies. I never had a hot dog though, but from the hot dog stand, wait, I have. I'm not sure now. From the cheapest, which you can get on a corner of the street, to the huge restaurants, also, Michelin stars. Yeah, I never got to go, but we were doing this thing with our group of interns that every time we got a paycheck, we picked a restaurant and we went. It was usually Korean because it was delicious, and it's very hard to try to do at home because it's so special. So that was very amazing, and we also had the advantage that we also had a local with us, so he took us to eat interesting places, and it's delicious, and you should try it all.
Oh, I sure hope we will. Have you had a chance to introduce people who were there with you to Slovak cuisine?
I'm once for potluck I made zemiakové placky, potato pancakes, and they all loved it. I was that's too bad that I couldn't make sheep cheese there, and you can't find it very much, but at least I did the potato pancake, and they all enjoyed it. So I was proud of myself because I also was doing them for the first time, so turned out well.
And I think that is all I wanted to hear from you. Thank you once again for blessing us with your presence.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been my pleasure.
What a pleasure it really was, huh? My name is Tono, and together with Betka, we will see you in the next one. Stay safe.